What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to be a female player. Now, I know some of y'all watched the first one where I talked about getting your mindset right and some of the other things that go along with being a female player. If you didn't watch that, first thing I tell you is pause this video, go back and watch that. Because I don't want you to try any of this stuff unless you go back and watch that video and make sure you got the right mindset before you come in here and try to pull this stuff. Because it probably ain't gonna work for you. It's probably gonna backfire. I'm gonna let you know that right now. So make sure you watch that first video, get your mindset together before you even try to do this. Now, what this video is gonna be about is how to get guys to do what you want. I know that's what you wanted to see before. I know that's what you wanted to get in that first video. But until you get the foundation right, don't even think about trying to get guys to give you what you want or do whatever you want them to do. It ain't gonna work, bruh. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now, I know a lot of people said in the first video when they saw it, oh, why are you telling people how to be a female player? All players die alone, and I'm too grown for these games and yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, that's cool. So you probably don't need to watch this one because it's not something for you. But what you got to realize is this. All players don't die alone. Y'all got to quit watching these movies and reading these fantasy books that tell you that everything goes a certain way. Who you think is good always wins and who you think is bad always loses. That's not how life really works. The reality of the situation is I got plenty of uncles and great uncles who played women most of their lives. They died married to women 20 years younger than them in their 80s and 90s. So they didn't die alone. So that means some people don't die alone. Yes, some people do. But the reality of life is this. There's no blanket rules. And it's not necessarily what you do most of the time. It's how you do it. The reality is you have to be able to absorb both negative and positive consequences and keep it moving. If you're not able to do that, anything you do is going to turn out rough for you and you're not going to be able to bounce back. So then you're going to wallow in self-pity and probably end up dying alone, struggling, feeling bad for yourself, feeling sorry for yourself. That's just how it goes. You could get married at age 20, be with the same person most of your life, and then something bad can happen along the way that has nothing to do with you. Something you didn't do wrong. The person could just die. And then you wallow in self-pity and end up alone for the rest of your life. So that could happen. The reality is, however you decide to live your life, you have to understand it's not necessarily what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And it's also about your ability to absorb both negative and positive outcomes. That's just how it is. If you can't keep it moving, if you can't come up with new strategies and adjust, no matter what you choose, it's gonna turn out bad. Now, step one to getting a guy to give you anything you want is you have to base your participation on merit. A lot of people just want to be around somebody because they're pretty or because they're handsome or whatever the case may be, when the person is absolutely serving no purpose in their life. If you're not spending your time based on merit, based on the person serving the purpose that you have set for them in your life, it doesn't have to be that the guy gives you money. That person's purpose could be talking on the phone and just, being a shoulder to cry on. That person's purpose could be being handy around your house, fixing things, whatever the heck you might want them to do. That person could be a babysitter. That person could be there for sexual gratification when and when you need it. Whatever the case may be. If they're not serving their purpose though, and they're not doing exactly what you need them to do, then you can't hang around them 24/7. You can't spend extra time with them because that's the person you really like. You chose this life. You're saying, I want to be a player. So that means that everybody you deal with has to be serving a purpose. You can't be catching feelings. You can't be doing things for people because they seem a little cute cuter, a little smarter, a little funnier than the next person. It has to be about serving a purpose. What players do is they put people in their lives that serve a purpose for them. And because of that, they always have options. They always have somebody to turn to, which gives them more power in every situation. If you're not doing that, then you're actually getting played in most cases, or playing yourself. And obviously that's not what you're looking for. Step 2, keep it moving. You gotta be willing to keep it moving. Even if the person is doing everything that you would like them to do, even if the person is being nice to you, being a shoulder to cry on, being somebody to give you some bread, being somebody to help you with your dreams, whatever the case may be, you have to move back and forth. You can't spend too much time on any target. If you do that, as they say, familiarity breeds contempt. If you continue to think, because you have to understand, this is not a give and take relationship that you're trying to create. This is a take and take relationship. So you can't stay on somebody for months and months and months at a time with no break and continue to just take. It doesn't work like that. Eventually the person gets tired of you. They become annoyed by you. This is why you have to have options. If you're going to try to be a female player, you have to understand the fact that you need options. You need more than one person on deck. Just like you see with guys, they got 3, 4, 5 girls that they go back and forth between. If you don't have multiple people that you can talk to, multiple people that you can get certain things from, then you're going to be in a situation where you're constantly tapping the same person over and over again, and then they start feeling like they have a certain amount of power. They also start understanding the fact that you're using them. But if you go from person to person, I'm not saying that you got to go down the line and have 10, 15 million people that you're talking to or dealing with. I'm saying if you're getting whatever you need from different people, and you have some people that you can go around with a rotation, it could be like 4 or 5 people, whatever the case may be. But as long as you got different people that you can go with as far as the rotation is concerned, you could tap this person when you need some money, or you could tap this other person if you need somebody to build a deck on your house. You could tap this other person if you need some more money. You could, different things like that. As long as you're moving and you keep staying on target, you keep getting different targets. Also, sometimes you may even have to back off and not be getting anything from anybody for a second, just to give everybody a kind of a rest and then get back in their lives again. What that does is make the person constantly want more. They're like, man, this person never seems to stay around, and what can I do to get this person to stay around? That's when they want to give you things. They realize that they only get to see you and they only get to spend time with you when they're playing their role. So they're going to try to play their role. They're like, okay, only time she really hangs out is if I take her to dinner. Only time she really hangs out is if we go on a trip. So I got to take her on a trip. Now, sometimes you're going to have to turn that trip down so that they don't feel like you need them, or they don't feel like they have control over the situation. But most of the time, if you keep moving, if you keep moving back and forth off of the target, they're going to feel like they have to take you on that trip. They have to buy you this or that. They have to help you whatever your problem is, with whatever your problem is, or they won't see you again. If you stay on the target too long, they start getting a little upset. They start feeling a little used, and then they kind of turn on you. Number 3, and this one's going to sound weird. I already know that. Ask for nothing. Now you're like, what? How do I get things if I don't ask for them? I totally get what you're saying. But if you're in a relationship, you have to let someone know what you want in order for them to give it to you. You have to have the give and take. But this is a take and take type of situation, okay? This isn't a regular relationship. Now, if you want to be in a regular relationship, then you can ask for things that you want. Go right ahead. But you are not choosing that lifestyle right now. And you have to understand that there are negatives and positives that go along with that lifestyle. Coming up to somebody and just asking for the things that you want makes it seem like you need that person, and it shows a level of vulnerability. You can't be a player and be out here vulnerable. You can pretend to be vulnerable as a player, but you can't actually be vulnerable. When you're asking people for things, it shows a certain level of vulnerability. It shows that you need certain things from them. Now, you can try to pretend like you don't, or whatever the case may be, but when you're asking, it tells people that you need. And when you seem like you need, that makes you seem like you're in a position of weakness. So you can't be in a position of weakness while you're playing somebody. Feel what I'm saying? So you cannot ask for anything. The way you get things from the person is presenting a want. How does that work? Well, say you want jewelry from that person. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there that you might like and you might want. Say you want somebody to give you some jewelry. If that's what you're looking for, you would buy yourself little things, or, things that other people are buying. You might show out, might show off to that person, go out with those things and say, oh, I just like having this type of thing on my wrist. Oh, I just like having this on my neck. You'll say things like that. What you do is you produce this lifestyle that you're already living. Once they see that you're already living this lifestyle and you're back and forth with them and not really solid and not really staying down with them for the most part, they're going to try to figure out how to provide you the lifestyle that you must be living. It could even be something that you kind of fake a little bit. But what'll happen is they start believing that this lifestyle is already being lived, and they're going to try to match it. Because if the person likes you and wants to be around you, of course they're going to try to create a comfortable environment, and they're also going to try to match what they think you're used to. Guys can say they don't do this, but y'all know I do this and been doing this for years. I know what's up. Let's keep it real. People gonna say whatever in the comment section. I'm talking about real life. In real life, people try to match if they can. Now, some dudes, they don't have the ability to do it, so they probably would be telling you the truth. But I'm talking about guys who are capable of doing it. They're going to try to match the lifestyle that they think you're already living. A guy's not going to come into a situation, see you living in a freaking mansion, driving a Maserati, and say, yo, let me buy you this old beat up van, or, let me take you to this cheap restaurant. They're going to try to match the lifestyle they think you're living. So instead of asking for things, you're going to show a certain lifestyle, show things that you're accustomed to, that you expect to get. This is with anything, whether it's somebody you want to talk to, somebody you want to help you with certain things. All you're going to do is show certain things that you're doing, like, oh, I'm building this deck on my house right now. Now, if they have skills to build a deck and you already know it, you're not going to ask them. You're just going to tell them that you're building the deck. If the person likes you and is trying to spend time with you, then they're going to try to go ahead and build that deck for you. If they don't, you're going to need a new deck builder. You know what I'm saying? That means that, remember what I told you before about merit, they're not doing what's in their lane to do. So if they're not doing their part, then you're going to have to kick them all out of the situation and get a new deck builder, right? If they're not willing to move your stuff for you when you say, man, I'm getting ready to move, I got to box some stuff up, do a whole lot of stuff. If they don't volunteer, then you might need a new mover. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how players roll. If you want to be a player, you have to be willing to replace. You can't say, oh, well, I really like this deck builder. Even though they're not building my decks, I still want to hang out. Nah, it don't work like that, player. You got to say, I let you know that a deck needed to be built, and you're not doing it. I let you know that I needed my pool done. You didn't do it. So I need to get somebody that will do my pool for me. You cancel from that. So eventually, usually they'll come back around if you cancel them. But anyway, you don't want to ask for these things because it lets them feel like they have a certain amount of power. But what you do want to do is let them know what you're currently doing, and then they can fill in and give you the things that you want. Now, a lot of these things that I've talked about sound really fun. Wow, I'm about to get this dude to do whatever I want. I'm about to get that dude to do whatever I want. You have to understand, especially if you watch the first video like I told you, being a player has its ups and downs like anything else in life. Just like marriage has its ups and downs, just like relationships have their ups and downs, being a player have their ups and downs. And I'm going to talk about this more later, but you have to have an exit strategy also. And you have to understand that you're going to need to absorb both negative and positive consequences going forward and roll with them. Don't hit me back talking about, I tried this and it blew up in my face. Hey, you decided that you wanted to be a player. That means that sometimes these things are going to work for you and sometimes they're not. Players play the odds. Players play the game continuously until everything kind of works out in their favor. If you're not willing to do that, and every time you take a loss, you want to sit there and cry about it, you're not a player. You need to man up, woman up, whatever they want to say, however they want to say it. You need to do that and just try to get back into relationships or try to figure out what else you can do with your life to get yourself stronger to where you can start absorbing negative and positive consequences. Because I promise you, if you choose this lifestyle, there are going to be some negative consequences that are going to come along with it. Yes, there are going to be some positive. Yes, you're going to have a lot of fun, but there are going to be negative consequences that are going to come along with this. And if you cannot absorb negative consequences, if you are a victim, if you are a crybaby, please don't even try it. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, ChazzEllis. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Peace. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man, ChazzEllis, once again. And if you want to learn how to drop some of these expectations that you have, some of these things that have been making you miserable in life, some of the people who have been making you miserable, some of the people who have been making you feel like you're less than, or you're not accomplishing the goals that they think you should accomplish, or some of the things that people put in you as you were younger that make you feel like you're inadequate and that you can never accomplish some of the things that you really want to accomplish. If you want to learn how to drop those things and pick up the happiness that you really deserve, make sure you check me out on April 16th, 2019 here in the Atlanta area. Now, if you can't make it to the Atlanta area, I'm also going to be live streaming the event so you can check it out there too. Make sure you click the link in the description box below and get a ticket, whether you come to the event or you check it out live on the internet. It's your man, ChazzEllis. Peace.